totally fine, as I am very interruptible and want to discuss these things fully. So anybody have any questions or thoughts about the patient experience from what Donna sent out? If you've had a chance to even read it, look over it, consider it, think about it, or no? I'll take that as a no. So starting down the road to the patient experience, it's interesting because on a couple Facebook group pages that I'm part of, there were people who started mapping out their patient experience. And you guys know that I am not the most meticulously detailed person who likes to sit down and go, okay, how did this person hear about us? Was it on Google? Was it on Facebook? Was it an ad they saw? Did they see us on Instagram? Did somebody tell them about us? Did their doctor tell us about it? Did they, by fluke, hear something good about us? But there's been a lot of people who sit down and write down meticulously what each avenue of people's experience is and how they heard about us or how they heard about them and what that means for how that patient is going to be coming and how that patient's mindset is. Because obviously people are going to hear about us, whether it be through a doctor or workers' comp, whether it be through Facebook, whether it be through any number of sources or resources. And people are not all going to be coming into therapy all happy to be there, all anxious to get it done, anxious in a good way to get it done. There's going to be people who have been through the ringer, through whether it be past PT experiences, past doctor experiences, past chiropractor experiences, past personal training, past massage therapists. And a lot of people come in skeptical. Is this really going to help me? I'm here because my doctor said, or I'm here because Joe told me about you guys and how you helped him, and I'm thinking it can help me. So we have to be able to be pretty discerning and pretty quick to pick up, okay, what's these people's attitudes? What's their perspective? How are they coming to us? And how are we going to be able to convert them into a client for life, basically? And I don't mean coming to us forever, but I mean a client who, if something should happen a year or two down the road, they're going to remember the experience they had with us. Or if they know of somebody who has a back problem or knee problem or shoulder problem, they would say, hey, you know what? I had a phenomenal experience at Volt Physical Therapy. Give them a call. So those are the types of things we need to be aware of. And I know this week, Brooke and Donna and Jen are going to be starting a front office certification course the last 8 or 12 weeks. I can't even remember what it is. But those first calls, the way they handle people on the phone, seeing how 90% of the time that's going to be their first personal contact with us, will go a long way to making a smooth transition from someone who's skeptical, someone who doesn't really know what physical therapy is, someone who's had bad experiences in the past, to get them to a place where they're sort of trusting the process and trusting us in a way. And you know what? 99% of it is the questions we ask and the verbiage we use and the confidence we have in what we say. So when we find out how they heard about us, some people say, you know what, I looked you up on Google or I found your website. And a lot of times I'm finding that people find the website because somebody said, hey, why don't you call Volt Physical Therapy? So it's really a word of mouth type of referral that they're just getting our number from the website simply because they were told to go to it. So we're going to have to start figuring out how to ask better questions at the front office. And we ask, how'd you hear about us? If they say, I found you online. And they might have found us online, but it was because whether they read something in the paper, whether they saw us on Facebook, however they heard about us initially, we need to try to decipher, because that's going to help us to know, hey, you know what, if someone who's they trust told them to come to us, that's going to be a whole lot better than if they're just somebody looking up online, what do I do for knee pain, what do I do for shoulder pain, and they find us. There's going to be no trusting that we really are who we say we are, or that we can do anything for them if they didn't have the word of mouth from a trusted friend. Does all that make sense? I'm assuming it does, but I know what I'm trying to say, and sometimes it doesn't come out as well as I'd like it to. So if you have any questions, any thoughts, feel free to talk up. you're going to have to really yell in Harrisburg because I don't think I'll be able to hear you very well if you want to say something, but we'll work that out if you want to say something. Then to realize that PT is typically a grudge type of purchase, because people don't typically wake up and say, hey, you know what, I want to go visit a physical therapist today because I feel so great and it's the best thing for me. It's usually because they're hurting or they're out of sorts or they got referred to us. So number one, they're coming to us oftentimes skeptical, anxious, and all depending on what type of benefits they have. It can be something that's extremely costly to them. So are we showing them value up front? Are we giving them the assurance from the first call to their first interaction with us that we are the people that will be able to take care of them and that they know that they're in the right hands? And a lot of it has to do with the consistency from what the front office says to what the therapist says, and I've covered that ad nauseum, so I don't need to go over that again. So what is it like after their phone call, after the front office person has spoken to them as a person first and then a client second, got the information they needed in a less than medically normal way at the end of a conversation instead of at the beginning. When they come in, what are they going to experience when they come in? Are they what's their first impression going to be from the way the front office is looking? Is it chaotic? Is it clean? What types of smells? What types of faces are they going to encounter when they first walk in? Are they going to be greeted with a smile? Or are they going to be greeted with a grumpy can be typically normal for people to do? But like I've always said, I want Volk Physical Therapy to be the second happiest place on earth to Disneyland and Disney World, because I don't know how it's possible to be the happiest place on earth when there is a Disneyland and a Disney World around. So are they being greeted with a smile? Do we put on the best show we possibly can for them? Because basically every time we step into the office, that's our stage. And are we giving them a great performance? Are they feeling welcomed, whether we like their attitude or not, whether they come in 10 minutes early or 10 minutes late or not, whether they're just one of these types of clients who, and we get them often, that they're just a hassle and we don't like working with? Are they experiencing the best of us, or are we giving off frustration? Are we giving off anything that is less than what we would expect from somebody who cared about us? So those are the types of things when I'm talking about patient experience, is what I'm looking for. And what can we, their attitude is going to dictate a lot of how we take care of them. Because obviously if they come in and we know they are sort of not being honest about their symptoms, like several work comp patients in the past have come across, are we going to let that dictate us? Are we going to be rude and nasty, or can we say things in a less rude and nasty way but still get the same thing across? And I'm sure I've been guilty in the past of challenging people in a way that has put them off, but in a way that was honest. But I probably could have said it in a better way. I just think of, I can't think of the guy's name, but the kid with the shoulder problem whose dad has a shoulder problem. When he came in, I was geared for bear just because of what I had been told about him. Our first conversation was, I asked him how his shoulder was doing. He said, well, I can't lift it. It's in a lot of pain, and he was holding it across his chest. And I said, well, it's interesting because I just watched you out in the parking lot take your sweatshirt off all the way up over your head, and now you're telling me you can't lift it up. He goes, well, you got to take your shirt off when you got to take your shirt off. I said, well, can you lift it over your head or not? And he said, no. And I don't know why I was in a cantankerous mood or something. I basically just said, well, I just watched you lift it up over your head, so I know you can. And I know it can't be that painful if you just hold it up over your head, because I also noticed halfway through the parking lot, your arm went from being at your side to across your chest where it is now. I probably could have handled that in a nicer way and still got the point across that, you know what, I know things can be painful, but we got to work through it. And sometimes I don't have a lot of tact, but I'm learning that as well. So how can we work on our verbiage, work on our attitude, work on things to be able to be honest, say what needs to be said, but in a way that is less confrontational than what I did. So I'm learning from my mistakes as well, and none of us are perfect, and there's always room for improvement, and that's what I'm always looking for. Just reading through my notes here. Obviously, there's going to be personality clashes with clients. That's just human nature. But how do we mitigate that? How do we keep our attitude in check so that the client has no idea that we possibly are frustrated with them, or that how can we take that to show that we're frustrated with them over the condition that they're in? So, like I said, the offices is our stage, and we've got to be giving our best performance whenever we're in the office, whenever we're dealing, especially with those clients that sort of rub us the wrong way and get us irritated. And I can think of, everybody knows Patty Fantetti, who can be extremely verbal, extremely loud. She can be a handful at times. But I look and I see what she says about us on Facebook. I look and see how she is probably our biggest cheerleader and our biggest fan. And I think it's because of the way we deal with her. And I know there's a lot of clients that get turned off by her when she's in the clinic. We've heard the stories. But you know what? I think we've won her over in caring for her, her husband, her son. I'm not sure if we saw her daughter or not, but she's referred countless amounts of people to us. And she constantly is talking about how we are the only place that she would go to. I posted something about free webinar that I'm doing this coming weekend, and she instantly started saying, "Hey, Mary, I don't even know these people's names, but you've got to see this. This guy is the guru, blah, 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 blah. I only go to his clinics because they get me well. They help my back. They've helped my husband's shoulder. They've helped my son's shoulder. They've taken care of my mom when she needed it before she passed." And just how when we treat people with the respect that we expect from others, even if, I'm not saying she doesn't deserve it, but even if we don't feel like that person deserves it, how it can turn somebody who can potentially be a thorn in our side for years and years can become our biggest cheerleader. I'm not saying that that's what Patty was. I'm just saying I was using her as an example because I know we've had some patient complaints about them not wanting to come in with her. But the way we have handled her and the way we've taken care of her has proven to be beneficial. So my goal is every person who comes through the door, look, everybody's not going to be a good fit for us. And there's going to be times we can tell people, hey, you know what? It's not working out, especially if they're constantly late, constantly canceling, constantly no-showing. I have no problem with us or with any of the PTs pulling somebody aside and saying, look, let us help you find someplace that would be better suited for you because we're just not a good fit and we're not making the progress we need. So I want you guys to feel empowered to be able to do that, and I hope you do, and I hope you don't feel like you can't turn somebody away if you feel like they are just totally not a good fit for you or the clinic. But I don't want it to be a personality issue that if we know we can help them and it's just their personality that's bad, do everything we possibly can, and if it turns into something that we can't handle or they turn into somebody that we need to talk to because of their inappropriateness, we've got to be able to do that and have the freedom to do that. And I hope everybody feels like they don't have to take abuse from a client because that's not what we're about, and I won't stand for that. So is that all clear? Any questions, any thoughts, anything come up from anything of what I've just said? All right, I can keep talking. I got some more notes. Once the client's in the office, are we making sure that we are focused 100% on their goals? Are we repeating why we're doing what we're doing and how that affects the outcome that they're looking for. Whether it be a mobilization, whether it be an exercise, whether it be an activity, in my case, that doesn't seem to have anything to do with their problem, but how it does affect, like how my leg lift is going to affect their bad shoulder, and how balancing out the body is going to cause them to feel much improved over time. We always constantly have to bring it back to their goals, and it's awesome to be able to tell another patient's story to them on how you saw somebody a couple weeks ago who had a similar issue and who is now back doing that very thing that they wanted to do. Or to even talk about the patient's future with them while they're there, just saying, hey, what's it going to be like for you? Tell me what it's going to feel like for you when you're able to get on the floor with your kids again, or when you're able to play golf with your buddies again, or when you're able to go for a walk or go out with the ladies again, or whatever the case may be. Just to get them talking, to get them focused on what the ultimate goal is, because I think the more we do that, the more that, number one, it puts in their mind, okay, because honestly, sometimes recovering from an injury can be the most draining thing in the world, most frustrating thing in the world. There's going to be roller coasters to a lot of people's improvements, and we've got to ride it with them and keep assuring them and keep pointing them towards the goal so that we are on the same page, because obviously the ultimate goal is we want a client for life, but in each episode of their care, we want to make sure that they are completing their care out all the way to their goals and to an official discharge. And I was not very good ever at continually talking to people about the goal, because I knew it in my head, and I thought that they knew it in their head, so I never expressed it that much. I do it all the time now when I'm dealing with a client, talking about what it was like when they used to do that, what it's going to be like when they're able to do that again, and what it's going to mean to them. So if I can encourage you guys to constantly be focused on and talking to them about their goals would be great. And what are we doing to put their needs before our needs when they're in the clinic? What are we doing to go the extra mile to make them feel extra special while we're there? Hopefully between the emails that we're sending out in between, and I'm constantly trying to be in contact with most clients through the automated email system and asking them for any input, asking them how they're doing. And I try to forward all those to the PTs if they ever respond. And I've been getting more responses. I think the more consistent we get with that, the more I'll be able to be forwarding emails saying, hey, this is what they're saying, just so you know, here's their feedback. I know Jen emails me and Donna and Matt the text messages that she gets the day after when she follows up with initial evals. And I'm assuming, Brooke, are you calling the initial evals the next day to make sure they're doing fine? And okay, because I know we weren't getting in touch with very many of them in Concord. So Jen, are you texting everyone or most of them?
I text all of them except for like Pearl. I don't think she texts. So I'll try calling her.
Okay, just as long as they know that we're checking in on them the day after, because oftentimes that is when a lot of questions start coming into their minds. Oh no, did I make the right decision? Because oftentimes they may be more sore initially after the visit just because we're moving them in ways that they may not have been moving previously. So I think that touch point, especially the day after, is awesome. And if you guys do talk with them, or they do respond in a not 100% satisfactory way, or they're inquisitive, or there's issues, please make sure we get that to the PT so that they can address it either the next visit, or if the PT has time to call that day just to check in, that would be great. And when clients are in the office, are they seeing the teamwork that I'm assuming is there, and I'm trusting is there, and I'm pretty sure it is there, between the front office, back office, between the trainer, the PTA, the PT? Are they seeing everybody work together in a cohesive group and working together in a fun manner so that it gives them trust to know, hey, you know what, when Kendra or Josh is taking me through the exercise. Megan's on top of it and knows what's going on as well. And when Lauren's working with me instead of Megan, or when Ashley's working with me instead of Matt, I know that they're in communication and everything's okay. Or when when Lauren turns them over to Josh, or when Ashley turns them over to Kendra, are they feeling the consistency and the teamwork, or are they sort of feeling like there's something going on that they're not comfortable with? So obviously the goal is to make the client 100% comfortable 100% of the time, and to make sure that they know that they're in the best hands. Are the PTs saying in the initial eval, hey, there's going to be an occasion, and oftentimes you may be seeing Lauren or Ashel, make sure that they're informed that, hey, you know what, these guys have a PTA degree, and that when they get turned over to the trainer fully knows the exercises that we want you to do. They've been trained in it. They know what to look for, so that when so they don't have to question every time, hey, why are you not seeing me this time? Why are you? I don't want them to feel like they're being pushed aside. And I don't want the PTA or the trainers having to do any explanations on that line. I want the PT to be able to, in the front end, especially probably during the initial eval, to make the introductions to the rest of the staff, let them know, you know, we work as a team here, and even though I am overseeing your front to back, these guys probably will be stepping in at different times, taking over parts of the treatment, doing different things with you, and they're fully qualified to do what I have them doing, and there should be no question, and we work as a team. And I think when they see that we take a team approach, it's not going to be like, I don't want to work with Josh, I don't want to work with Lauren, I don't want to work with Ashley, I don't want to work with Kendra. They're going to know that we're all on the same team and working towards the same goal. And if you guys have creative ways to explain that to them, always open to hear how you guys do it. I read a lot about how other clinics do it. And one thing that they say is they do it initially on the initial visit, so that they know and that their expectations are not let down if we have a new patient who has to get squeezed in and Matt or Megan has to take them on their second or third visit. They know that the transition to Lauren and the transition to Ashel is something smooth and easy. Okay, that makes sense?
Yes.
Any questions at all on that? You guys just sort of feel like you're in class and you're being lectured to? There's the bell. You guys are excused. What was that? Is that the dryer?
That's right.
Wow, that was loud. All right.
We don't live in door shut, so I sound like loud.
Then the last thing I have for today, and I know you guys are going, oh, thank God, we've done already. Our systems of our follow-up systems being consistently done. And one thing, are you guys getting out that bridge email each new client, hopefully within the same day, saying, hey, here's what we discussed, here's where we're headed, here's where your goals are. Are you guys getting those out at all, or not really? Matt, I didn't see your head one way or the other.
I send the home exercise by email. I don't do the copy paste thing, but kind of put my own little blurb in with the home exercise program.
Okay. Megan, do you email home exercise, or do you print them out?
I mean, it depends what the patient wants.
Okay. Yeah, because maybe I'll try to get a shorter email, because I would love for them at the end of their first visit, by the end of the night, to get even just a quick email just saying, hey, just want to check in, great meeting you, looking forward to blah, 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 blah. Even if it's just simple and short, because obviously when they come in the second time, we're going over their plan of care with them to have them sign it. So even if it's just a short blurb, just to basically go the extra mile and to make them feel like, okay, hey, you know what? They remembered me. They're sending a quick email. Even if it's just, hey Joe, this is Megan. Just want to say pleasure meeting you. Looking forward to getting you back to doing blank. If you have any questions, this is my email. Please feel free to email me. And just so you guys know, I give out my personal email and my personal cell phone to every client that I've pretty much, actually every client that I ever treated has my email, and quite a few have my personal cell phone. I'm not saying you have to give out your personal cell phone in any way, shape, or form. They know the phone number to the clinic, but I think I've gotten 2 phone calls in the last 8 years from a client. So having them have your email, which they probably do anyway, is not a big deal. And if someone starts abusing it, just saying, hey, you know what, if you can save these questions or write them down and bring them in, patients don't have a problem with that because they know you're busy. But it's very rare that I ever get a personal email or a personal text or phone call. So everybody I know gets, oh no, I would never give out my cell phone, but I mean, everybody has my cell phone number. Everybody here in Charleston has it. And it's extremely, extremely rare that I ever get calls or texts because they know we're busy. And but if it's an emergency situation, I love getting those texts or phone calls because at least they know they can count on me. And really, the last thing I have: are we making everything about their experience with us about them? And if you guys have any creative ways of things that we're not already doing, or even a more creative way of what we are doing, I'm always open to hear. Because that's one thing that I want clients to know is that we have their 100% best interest at heart every time they step through the door. And more than just in treating their problem, I want them to know that, hey, you know what, if something's going on in their family, that, you know what, we'll send, we don't have to tell them we'll send flowers, but if we hear of something that needs to be addressed, we'll send flowers. If we know of something that needs to be taken care of, we'll deal with it. And I'm putting together what people are calling a golden ticket, which is basically just another way to let them know that if they know of somebody who is needing our services, that they can give out this ticket over X amount of time, and we'll give a free discovery visit to that friend or family member or whoever they know of. Having a lot of PT friends out there who are doing that, and we did it in one form or another, and it never really seemed to take off. We gave them a little business card type, but this is more of a whatever the size is, but I'm trying to word it in a way and trying to give them something in return for giving it out too, but I haven't figured out what that is yet. Whether it be a free dry needling set, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, just to figure it out. But that will be another way that we can try to get more word of mouth visits in. And are you guys even asking clients, hey, do you know of anybody who can use our services? If so, we'd love to.
On the quality assurance form, so every once in a while when they're filling that out, they'll talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm finding that they'll talk about it, but 9 times out of 10, people don't really follow up with it. So I'm trying to figure out a creative way with the golden ticket, and even with that quality assurance form, if they can give us the person's information and we can email the patient or the person or text the person and say, hey, this is so-and-so from Volk Physical Therapy. John told us that you've been dealing with the back pain. Just wanted you to know we have a free discovery visit offer available to you if you want to come in and see if there's anything we can do to help you out. We'd love to be able to take you on. John speaks highly of you, blah, blah, blah. Something real quick and easy that hopefully we can start increasing the word of mouth referrals that we get. Because, I mean, I just look and go, hey, you know what? Everybody knows somebody who's got a back issue, a leg issue, a shoulder issue, a knee issue. I mean, I know dozens of people right now off the top of my head who are dealing with it. And if we can get one client referral for every 2 or 3 patients that we have, we would be busier than we would know what to do with. So anyway, that's all I have for today. I may get more into detail into some of these things next time. If you guys have any questions, thoughts, please feel free to email any questions, thoughts, or things that you can see that we can improve on, or even a more creative way. And once again, Brooke and Megan, thanks for that that spreadsheet form for new patients and keeping up with how many times they're being seen each week, and marking when they're on vacation so that we know why things are doing this. And the goal is by the end of the month, that by the end of this week, we need to be at 200 patients to hit our goal. So we need about 45 more patients scheduled this week. So Brooke and Jen, don't know what you got to do to get 45 more people over the next 3 days, but that's your challenge. Kidding, but hey, yes.
Can you hear me?
Actually, I can.
Okay. So with this golden ticket thing, does that mean that we're not offering discovery visits for free anymore, and it's only if you have this thing?
No, it's basically to try to get clients who we have to give it to somebody who they know. We'll still offer it otherwise, but I'm just looking, going, okay, how can we entice people? And I don't know why it's hard for some people to refer people to us. Maybe they just don't think about it. But if they have something in hand, it may be easier for them to be able to hand to somebody. They say, hey, you know what? I saw Megan over at Voc Physical Therapy. She did great on my back. Why don't you give her a shot? I know they're offering free discovery visits to anybody who I give this to. And I'd love for you to be able to help. And what that does, obviously, number one, if someone you trust and know and like give you a referral, you're more likely to take it up than if you just hear about a free discovery visit, because it seems like a lot of people now are doing free assessments. And the overall goal is obviously to get more clients in, but to have it come from a trusted source is always an added plus. Does that make sense?
I just wanted to clarify that.
All right, you just wanted to clarify what? I missed that last part. I just want to clarify, then the bells went off.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that, like, if this person didn't have this ticket, that they could still be coming in on their own for a free discovery visit, that there's really no difference.
There is no difference, except hopefully what we will see is when. Wow. That your microphone on your computer picks that up very nicely. No, it's no different, but what I'm hoping that we will see is it's going to be a whole lot easier to convert a person who has been referred by a friend with a golden ticket, because they already have a sense of trust of us because of the referral from a friend, versus someone who just finds us and says, hey, let's do a discovery visit. Even though, I mean, we're converting 75 to 80% of those already. So I'm just looking for ways to get our name out there more and to pick up the business a little bit further. Make sense?
Yep.
Awesome. You guys get to do your huddle ups. I will see you next week. And if you have any questions, feel free to email, call, put it in the Voc PT staff page, which if we, Donna, we need to get Ashel set up on that. I think she might have to befriend me on Facebook. Sorry, Ashel, but I think that's how we have to add you in. So welcome aboard, Ashel, and you guys have a great day. Take care.
Thank you.